What's going on? This is DH of Win or Lose Radio. I got Mr. Lee behind the glass in the building tonight. Mr. Lee, what's up?
What it do?
Already. I got Mr. Wood in the building. We had to get an expert in here tonight to talk about this.
What's good? How y'all doing?
All right. So we're on Facebook Live. Shout out to everybody on Facebook Live tuned in right now. And I felt that this was necessary. Okay. I felt that this was necessary because I know you all heard of the incident that has happened on today. So I felt that this was real necessary to start the conversation because an atrocity happened a few days ago. Alton Sterling in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, was killed by 2 police officers. And as a member of the media and a member of WTTS Radio, I feel like we have an obligation to use our voice, man. I mean, we use it to talk about sports and entertainment and, you know, who gonna win the Super Bowl and talk about the NBA Finals and all that. But when it comes to issues that directly affect our community, like, we need to speak on it. So I feel like the title of the show, Unfiltered, something I just came up with on the way here. But Mr. Lee, I was talking to you earlier today, and I was just like, this is something we had to talk about, man.
Yeah, man. This is unfortunately the 558.
558.
Yeah, 558, man. We're almost at 600, 7 months into the year of another life lost at the hands of the police. It's a tragedy, man, and I kind of want to save my comments when you get into your questions or whatnot, but my heart is aching for his 5 children, man. 5 children, man. And to see his 15-year-old son break down like that, you know.
Bro, that's crazy, man.
I'm a father, you know what I mean? And if I had to, you know, go like that and know my son is in pain like that, bruh, I can't imagine that, man. It's a terrible situation, man, and I can't wait till we really dive into this, man. Mr. Wood, what you got, bruh?
You know, I look at this situation in 2 different lights. It's sad. It's sad that society has come to this point. It's sad that, you know, we've lost another brother in the process.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to talk about from both standpoints and both aspects. And, you know, without saying too much, everyone needs to be held accountable.
Right.
Everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a big point. And I wanted Mr. Wood in here because he does have a law enforcement background. So I wanted to make sure that I'm not speaking out of context on certain things. So, of course, I'll ask questions along the way to kind of talk about that. But right now, you're on Facebook Live. Appreciate you tuning in. I know you talked about this ad nauseum today. Just want to give you a different perspective, a perspective that you can kind of reach out and be a part of. You know what I mean? So a lot of our viewers may watch the show Win or Lose Radio every Monday, and you're part of that. So we appreciate that, and we want you to be able to be a part of this. So hit us up on Facebook, right in the comment section. I have it on right in front of me so I can see everything. So please comment on it. You know, if you have a question, you can do that from myself, Mr. Lee, or Mr. Wood, and we can just talk about it, man, and just kind of get to the bottom, and just talk about our thoughts and emotions and feelings with the incident surrounding today. So I'll begin by saying this. Last night, I saw it last night before I was going to bed. Summertime was on the phone, and she kind of said another dude got killed in Louisiana. And I kind of was like, I'm numb to it now. So I'm just like, okay, another dude got killed. Right. You know, I'll find out more information on tomorrow. Like, being completely super ignorant to like stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
And this morning when I woke up, and you know, as a millennial, is what we do. We get up before we go to the bathroom, and you pick up that phone and you start scrolling. You know what I mean?
Right.
Checking all your text messages, tweets, Facebook stuff, and every post I'm seeing the same scene.
Same situation with me, man.
Bro. So I look and I'm like, okay, let me take a look at this. Now, mind you, that situation was something very tough to see first thing in the morning because I don't know what I'm expecting, and I see it and I'm like, whoa, you know what I mean? So I see that and I'm like, wow, that's tough. I'm like, I wonder what's gonna come of it. So as the day is progressing, I'm at work. It's like a snowball. It just builds up. Mm-hmm. You get the antagonists and the trolls, and you get the people that just I realized that it hurt a ton of people, myself included. And then, Mr. Lee, when I saw the second angle, that did it for me, bro. I was at my desk silently weeping to myself. And normally at work, I'm like super up here, I'm kind of, I'm, hey, what's up, what's going on? I was at my desk and I really was like silently weeping to myself because that was tough to see. You know what I'm saying? And I think for me more so, and this may get a little graphic, but to watch him pass away like that, when he got shot in his chest, and I seen his arm movements, and I seen how his life was leaving his body, that was uncomfortable to me. I mean, I don't ever think it would be comfortable to me, but it truly made me uncomfortable.
Absolutely tough to watch, and don't ever think, from a law enforcement perspective, that it ever gets easy.
Right.
It doesn't get. It never gets easy.
Right.
And I always used to tell people, if you ever find yourself becoming numb and getting used to, seeing bodies, then you need to reevaluate your career.
I mean, because it definitely, and that's the thing. Like, I feel like with this experience, with this situation happening, the fact that my initial reaction was, okay, like this is nothing new. I felt that was my first issue,
right.
And that's why, like, there's no way this should happen, and I not feel any type of way.
And then so for me, I saw different. I not saying that I didn't care or whatever the case may be, but because you've seen all these hashtags and you see all these different posts throughout the morning. I get up 5 o'clock in the morning, so I just to see this first thing in the morning, I'm like, okay, I need to start seeing some facts. Like you're gonna have to tell me something because there's no way that this many people are posting, these and no facts truly have even come out. You have the police sitting over there quiet. They're not really saying anything. And then, you got a bunch of people speculating over a video. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was, it's tough to watch.
Absolutely.
But I think more so the opinions that come after it is so like, I'm like, really? Like, okay, for instance, there was, somebody posted something about, I was on one of my boys' posts, and he posted about it, gave his long, eloquent post about how he feel and how this is such an issue that's going on. And somebody chooses to post All Lives Matter, and then it was done. And I'm like, fam, I understand what you're saying, but you got to pick and choose your platform, bro. You can't take that man's weakness and something that man feel and try to impose your will and impose your feelings upon the situation. And I'm just like, bro, I'm just like, why, man? Like, and I swear people just do it to get a rise out of people. But I'm like, man, you are now like, you can't do that, man.
Right.
And I'm gonna get into this All Lives Matter situation and Black Lives Matter situation shortly. But I mean, just my initial thoughts. I mean, nothing on that video gave me any reasoning to believe that the officers felt threatened. And I'm speaking from what's the one I'm looking for? I'm speaking from
civilian.
Yeah, I'm speaking from that standpoint only. I'm just speaking of the facts that I saw on just the video. To me, I didn't see anything that looked like it was a threatening situation. Because I don't know, because I won't there. But I'm just like, if you call a spade, I see the man down. You know what I'm saying? I see 2 officers detaining him, and his hands are not free. Like, his hands are not flailing, and he's reaching. And then I see him get shot. That's just from my perspective. So please fill me in if I'm missing something.
So What bothers me
Mhm.
is every time I see a video, it gets shorter and shorter.
Mhm.
Well, my initial video that I saw showed them asking him to get on the ground, showed him being tased,
Mhm.
showed all these things happening prior to him being on the ground.
Mhm.
I didn't see that.
You
Yeah,
see what I'm saying?
I saw
So
that.
that's where my issue comes in. When do we hold ourselves accountable?
Right.
When do I'm not saying that he had a right to be shot and killed the way he did.
Right.
Absolutely not. But at what point do we not follow the laws of the land? And then if we have an issue with them, we go about them the correct way.
Look, you won't find an argument for me with that.
You understand what I'm saying?
Because I agree wholeheartedly. You know what I mean? But my thing is, I've been hearing people say, well, let's see what happened, the whole story. And I get that. But I'm like, okay, for instance, let me see if I can put it in relative terms for myself and the audience.
Okay.
If you're in a movie theater, right,
Mhm.
and the movie's already playing,
Mhm.
and you walk in the movie and you see a car crash,
Absolutely.
and the guy dies in the car crash, and you walk out the movie, right? Regardless of what happened before or what's gonna happen after that story, the guy died in the car crash.
That's your perspective.
Right there. That's my immediate perspective of what happened.
That's your reality.
Right.
Mhm.
Not the whole story. I can't tell you how he got in the car. I
Mhm.
can't tell you why he got in the car. I can't
Mhm.
tell you where he was going.
Mhm.
But I know that in that scene that I saw, he died right there. So I'm taking that at face value, not to evaluate the whole movie, but to evaluate that one scene,
That moment,
and say that this is exactly what I saw and exactly what happened.
absolutely.
So I feel like with the video, is that, in order for me as a person to find it justifiable for him to get shot like that, he would have to be standing there with the gun.
You'd be dead, Benny.
Exactly.
You'd be dead.
Exactly. And that's the only for me. That's the only way that I can justifiably
right.
say.
But if you wait
Mhm.
that long, what's the chances of you going home?
Absolutely. No, look, I tell you ain't gonna find an argument for me on that. But that situation right there is the only way that I could see.
And then I get all these questions. Well, why didn't they shoot him in the arm, or why did they shoot him?
Yeah.
Deadly force is deadly force.
Yeah.
If you have to use it, you shooting to kill.
If I have to pull my gun out at that point,
It's shoot to kill.
it's shoot to kill. It's I'm not shooting to wound you. I wasn't trained that way.
Mhm.
I'm trained to shoot you center mass. He was
Right.
shot center mass. So from my standpoint, watching the video, watching the initial video that was, and I can only speculate or go based on what we've been told, them are coming, being called out because the gentleman had threatened somebody with a gun.
Mhm.
Well, at that point, my probable cause to search you was that 911 call. I don't need to see anything. I don't need to hear anything, from anybody else there. That 911 call said, you threatened this man with a gun. At the very least, even if I don't arrest you, and I probably won't at that particular moment, but I have probable cause to at least pat you down.
Right.
If I'm coming out there and you don't have any weapons or whatever the case may be, let me pat you down and go on about your business. Why argue with me? Why be combative with me? Why not listen? Only thing you had to do, turn around, put your hands on your head, on the ground. I mean, he's a big guy. And if you had a license to carry or whatever the case may be, you could have went on about your business. But if I have to tase you twice, which I saw in video, if I have to tase you twice and you don't flinch, dude, like you eating tasers like they chocolate, bro.
Right.
You're like,
Right.
you ain't even move. My next thing, I want to hurt you, is get you to the ground. If you on the ground,
Was when he got tackled, right?
exactly. If you on the ground, hey, I got a better chance. You understand what I'm saying?
I feel you.
Because you ain't on your feet. You're not as strong. Well, he is strong. Clearly, he was strong.
Right.
But the struggle came when they were trying to put his hands behind his back.
Right.
And he outpowered them. I want to say pride may have been an issue.
Mhm.
You know, do I know that there was a gun in his pocket? I don't know. Even from looking at the video,
Exactly.
I can't even tell you that was a gun they pulled out.
Right.
Didn't appear that way to me.
All you heard was
I
he's got a
heard
gun.
that
Yeah.
he's got a gun.
And then
But
at the end of the
even in the
video,
video-
you see a cop go into the pocket at the end of the video.
I'm not even. I can't even tell you that I'm 50% sure that was a gun that they pulled out of his pocket.
Mm-hmm.
It looks so small.
Exactly.
And
That's what I said to you, D.
So it had to be deep in his pocket, clearly, because he had to reach in there and get it. We watched that.
Mhm.
At what point, only justification that you have to shoot him is if his hand was in there.
That's really
or you felt like he was reaching
right
into his pocket.
Right.
But Wood, real talk,
And that's a matter of perception at that point, because nobody can tell that officer what he saw or what he was feeling at that moment.
Mhm.
Now, whether it be justified or not, that's when the legal system comes in.
Right.
But you have to be smart enough and know your job enough to know that, okay, this is a life or death decision that I'm making right now. And I have to be comfortable with it at the end of the day. Whether I go to jail or go home, this has to be a decision that I have to live with. You understand what I'm saying?
No, I agree. Go ahead, Mr. Lee. What were you saying?
He's got a gun. Pop, pop. Is that not enough? Were there 3 extra shots needed?
Okay. So, once again, I agree with you. He's got a gun. He's got a gun. He's got a gun. If you move, I'm going to shoot you. If you move, I'm going to shoot you.
He definitely threatened him with that.
He did. And at that point, let me ask you a question. If you land on the ground, I don't know, you know that there's a gun in your pocket. Just say, hypothetically, there's a gun in your pocket. He tell you he's going to shoot you if you move. What you doing?
I mean,
are you moving?
Nah. But I mean, what would be okay? Let's say I say I got a gun in my pocket. I'm like, I got a gun in my pocket, and I still get shot. First of all, I got body cams.
Right.
Number one.
You tell me that you got a gun and I still shoot you?
Yeah. And by all means,
the body cam footage though?
Yeah.
Where's the?
They said they were broken, right?
Supposedly they got broken in the scuffle.
Exactly. That's BS.
I'm
not saying it doesn't happen.
I'm not saying both. At least one. I think the one that of the shooting may have. Not saying that it couldn't.
Right.
I mean, they man-made. They're small, whatever the case may be. But you got some footage on it, bro.
Right.
You can't tell me that there's nothing on it.
The squad car ain't got no footage on it?
At least you got the taser footage. You got to have something.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you, and Mr. Wood, by no means, I don't want you to feel like I'm putting you on trial by asking a bunch of questions. But I'm just curious because I'm ignorant, so I want to know. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm just like, the whole situation just seems like crazy to me, man. Like, I'm just like, and I understand everything that's going into it. You know what I mean? Oh, this is my question. I was rambling for a second. I forgot my question. That's what I do sometimes when I forget what I want to say. Let's say, they get a call and say, there's a guy, harassing somebody or whatever. What if it's the wrong guy? Like, what if they could have got you know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, because I think just my whole thing. I mean, and I know police officers and people in law enforcement don't really get the benefit of of being able to process a full situation before an action is necessary. Like me, a lot of times before I make a big decision, if I'm gonna go buy a house, I need to know everything about this house. You know what I mean? Before I just say, all right, what am I saying? And I feel like a lot of times these situations, these are split-second decisions that always end up on the wrong side. Like, they always end up being bad decisions, and it's like nobody fesses up. So, for instance, I know, did you guys see that Hot 97 video? Mr. Lee, did you see that?
Yeah.
Where the dude who's wearing my Ric Flair shirt that I have.
Yeah. Paul Rosenberg.
Yeah. Basically had a police officer on the phone, and he went in and he asked the police officer, would you say that the police officer could have done things differently, or he may have done things incorrectly? And the dude just wouldn't say it. Like, you know what I mean? It's like he wouldn't admit that some things could have been done differently. And I'm not asking you to say that something could have been done differently, or you know what I'm saying, go behind their back or say whatever. But I'm just saying, from a law enforcement perspective, I know there are many different things that could have been done to defuse the situation. From the portion of the video that we saw. Now you said he was tased. I didn't see that video.
He was tased twice.
Okay, I didn't see that. So it's like, after you tase, what's the next step?
Subdue him, right?
He had at that point, if he doesn't drop when he's tased,
you gotta subdue him.
You ain't got no choice. Well, you going hands on.
Yep. But I'm like, so
because you could pepper spray him. If he eating a taser, he gonna eat that pepper spray.
Right.
Nice sticks. That's out the question.
He's ate a taser.
I think
I'm not even being funny.
Yeah,
like,
I feel you. I'm just like
me hitting you with a baton, with an ass baton.
Yeah.
It's not going to. He's a big guy.
I mean, I don't know.
The taser works on the nerves, bro.
Yeah. And if that don't get you down, then
I have to go hands on. And you try your best to avoid situations like that. And I feel like they did initially.
Right. Maybe let me say this. It seems like a lot of these situations are seeming as if that's, by shooting and killing someone, is normally in most cases that's the last resort that you want to do, is draw your and have to shoot your weapon. But a lot of cases, this stuff seems like that's the only thing that's done. Is no diffusing of the situation.
Well,
this is how some of these
your
situations.
Eric Gardner case wasn't a shooting,
right?
Yeah, I mean,
that wasn't. He choked him to death.
Pretty much. Eric was getting the best of him, and
choked him out.
Yeah, basically.
I'm sorry,
I'm just being honest.
Yeah, no.
But now let me butt in.
Go ahead.
Let me chime in, and I want to say this because me and Paul Rosenberg kind of had the same viewpoint. Whereas I wanted to know, when will law enforcement step up and hold their own accountable for the actions that occur on their hands? With that being said, I understand that there's corruption in the police force. And I do understand that there's a fine line that good officers really can't cross, because there are powers that be that control the scene. And, you see it in movies all the time. So you can't tell me that it's not real life. And I don't want to put my bruh in any type of situation that would get him in any type of trouble. So I'm not even going to ask him that. But I just want to know.
I'm going to go out on a limb here. And I'm going to make a comment. And politics, bro.
Yeah.
So, and I'm going to say this. And you take it however you want to take it. The difference is when things come to the limelight.
Mm-hmm.
If I have an audience, I got to play politics. If nobody knew about the shooting, something would happen. Point blank period.
Mm-hmm.
Us brothers, we get in trouble all the time.
Yeah.
As an officer, you get it. Do you know how many officers get fired a year?
A bunch, I'm assuming.
A lot.
That's quite a bit.
And you never know about it. You never know about the situations. And that's the difference. When things, are brought into the media and you have all these different things going on, that's when you cause these people to play politics. Because at the end of the day, they have to look out for each other. It's a money thing for them. And whether we want to look at it like that or that, and I'm probably never going to hit the end of this, but it's the truth. It's the truth.
I mean, and speaking of politics and power, I was reading an article that said that one of the officers, I think it's Officer Blake is his first name, Blake or Blaine or something like that, Salamini or something. His father has been on the force for 35 years. And he's up for becoming chief of that district. So when you ask me, do I expect to get some type of conviction for this? Knowing that political power, probably not.
Okay, so I'm going to be honest with you. And this is me looking at what I've been presented with so far and what I've seen so far. You're not going to get a conviction, number one.
Nah.
It's not the reason that you think.
Fill me in.
You have a situation where you have a struggle. There's no way to prove that he was not reaching. There's no way to prove that he was reaching.
Right.
So unless you can prove that he wasn't reaching, then it's their word against his. He's not here.
But shouldn't the tape mean something, bro? Like my thing is, like, cause no.
Show me in the listen. Show me in the
Listen
tape.
to what he said though.
Show me in the tape where you see him either reaching or not reaching. You can't see it.
But that don't mean the Fed.
It means
that don't mean if
everything.
he got shot that
It's my perspective.
right.
If I'm standing over, if I'm sitting over top of him, and I'm watching him, and I say he reached, can you prove that he did?
That's terrible.
I mean, you want to answer?
That's true.
You gotta be able to take the answer.
Because that's true. I mean, because essentially what it is like,
and trust me when I say this. This is this is nothing against any law enforcement officer or there's nothing against them because once again we don't know the facts, but I'm giving it to you straight. Prove to me that he was reaching, or prove to me that he didn't reach, and I can give you a yes or no. But until you can prove to me that he didn't, there go your conviction.
I mean, basically, it's just like with going to court. It's not a matter if you did it or not. It's a matter if you can prove it or not.
It's for officers, it's different.
Yeah.
You're guilty until proven innocent. Only time that it's the other way around is when politics are involved.
And that's the best answer I done heard all day.
If I got in trouble at work today or tomorrow, I'm suspended. If you call and file a complaint, I am done. I'm going to sit at home. I'm going to be on suspension, probably without pay and everything else, long as the media isn't involved. But when the media is involved, I might get some pay. I might, we're going to play politics with this. We're going to see how far this goes. Yeah. Officers get in trouble every day. Officers get suspended every day. Officers get fired every day.
Yeah, that's true.
So let's move past, this getting a conviction thing, because real talk, my man, in 4 days, my man gonna be a hashtag, and I really hate to admit that, but real talk, that's really what's gonna happen.
Already.
He's a hashtag. So let's not worry about a conviction. How can we find a solution to the problems between police brutality and not just the black community? Because I really want to advocate for the black community. But how do we get past police brutality and civilians? How do we get the equal treatment of a suburban, stereotypical white guy coming home from a golf course versus, Shamika or Jaquan coming home from the basketball court? How do we get that same treatment, that same equality? And I understand that racism and all that stuff plays into it, but how do we get past this?
Accountability. Yeah. And we first have to hold ourselves accountable as citizens and civilians too. There's a law, there's a process, and there's a way of going about everything. If you come up to me, you want to search me and do whatever, hey, by all means, do what you got to do. I'm going to go with it. But you better know that this black man, today, I'm not going to say nothing today. I'm not going to argue with you today. I'm going to go through the process. I'm going to file my complaint. I'm going to get my attorneys involved. I'm going to do this, and this. So we can, make change that way. But sitting there, feeling like you're right, debating with an officer, getting into a struggle, doing this, that, and the third, it's not going to get you anywhere.
Absolutely.
And that's the easiest way to put it. And that's not a black man, that's for everybody. Because you have white people who do the same thing. You have Hispanics who do the same thing. God knows I know some Puerto Ricans who do the same thing. Right. But you have to understand that there's a process to everything. And want to be combative and want to fight and do all that. You can't do it on the street.
You know, I
got a comment from one of the viewers. Can civilians police the police? Speaking on accountability. Can civilians police the police?
And then Chris followed up with, civilians can police the police when they have political power.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a Chris.
There's your answer.
There's your answer right there.
There's your answer.
Look, I wanted to respond to that because I have a situation that came up with that. So me and my dad were talking like 2 weeks ago with the last Freddie Gray situation, and my dad old school. You know what I mean? My dad is like, if you haven't done anything wrong, then comply. And the faster you let them ask whatever question you ask, the faster you get out of there. And I'm like, and I agree to a certain extent, right? I agree with my dad wholeheartedly. The fact that I haven't done anything wrong, so let's answer the question so we can be done, and my victory will be proving you that you're wrong on your suspicions. I don't have anything in this after.
Absolutely.
But on the flip side of that, because I've been pressed out by police officers before, and I may have looked threatening. I don't know, how could I look threatening with these debonair good looks? No, I'm kidding. But I've been pressed out before.
I have.
Yeah,
I have in uniform.
I ain't in a uniform.
I was in a situation where I ain't gonna say no name.
Yeah.
I had a situation where someone high up pulled me over. I was on my way to work, and he asked me, where did I get my badge from? Went as far as telling me I had a warrant.
Right.
I'm in uniform.
Right.
I got a warrant. We established warrants in my age. Right. You gonna tell me if any agency is gonna know that I got a warrant?
This the agency that you.
This the agency that you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but later to come back to the car after I tell you that I'm gonna call my supervisor and get my lieutenants and stuff to come down here. No, you can go ahead about your business. Just take care of that warrant, dude. If I had a warrant, why would you even let me go?
He would have arrested you.
Exactly. Yeah. But I also was told that later on, after the tape was pulled or whatever, no one ever told him that I had a warrant, and that if I wanted to file a complaint, that I could. If I wanted to make a big deal out of it, I could. But choose wisely my next decision, is what I was told.
So they're basically saying, I'm obligated to say this to you because this happened.
Exactly.
But this is basically off the record. I'm telling you this as a personal experience. Listen, you can do that if you want to, but I don't know if that's the smart thing to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
politics, man.
Bruh,
but then you question us, and you wonder why we sit quiet, right, and we don't say anything. Hey, and I'm not trying to be funny. I got 2 kids. Mm-hmm. I got to go home. I got family to feed, bro. What you want me to do?
Yeah, I understand completely.
You gonna spot my bills this month?
No, I feel you. You
gonna give me gas money to take my kids back and forth to school?
The situation as a whole is just tough to deal with because now I won't lie to you. I didn't see him get tased. I haven't seen that video.
That was the first video.
Yeah, see, I haven't seen that.
It was crazy.
The video I saw is the first thing I saw was him getting tackled. I see like a second or two before he gets tackled, and then I see towards the end, and that's it.
The second video that my third, the last one, is
from the owner's angle.
Oh man,
that was tough, bro. I'm telling you. Yeah, listen, yeah. I'm gonna tell you why that's tough for me. And if y'all know, last week I went to go film for TV One. I had a role on TV show For My Man where they recreate crime scenes, and uh, my brother in the episode gets shot and gets killed, and I also get shot in the episode, but I don't die. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? But let me tell you something. This, and by all means, I'm not trying to compare the two situations. But last week, and Mr. Lee will back me up and tell you, I had a moment on that ground as all the cameras and the lights were on, where I had a moment where I had to go to a place and act like I've never acted before and pull out some real emotion because my brother got shot right next to me. And then, and shout out to Boogie out of Richmond, who was my brother in the episode. You know, we got makeup done. He got bullet holes in him. And it got real. It got real. You know what I mean? Even though it wasn't real, it got really real. And I had to go to an emotional place, and it scared the hell out of me. Because the only thing that separates that situation is the cameras and the lights. But that could be anybody in that back alley, any situation. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that scared the hell out of me because I've never been in those types of situations. Right. So it's like waking up, find yourself on the ground, and you're. And fortunately for me, Sam, the director, yelled cut, and I got up and I walked away and thought about what I was gonna eat after I got upset. You know what I'm saying? For guys getting shot, and laying on the ground and crawling in the street, hollering and screaming about their brother, bro, that's the last thing they remember, and that's the last thing that happens. And for me, that was tough. Like, I really went to an emotional place last week, and I was like, wow, I hope to God this situation never happens to me or anyone I know going forward, because I just can't imagine the place I went emotionally and the pain that I felt at that moment is multiplied times a million if this situation is really happening.
I had a moment today where, like, I kind of broke down. I got frustrated. I got frustrated for two reasons. The first reason, we got another brother laying in the street dead. It's dumb. It's stupid. It's senseless. The second reason is it could have been prevented.
Absolutely.
And it's frustrating knowing that you got options, man.
Yeah.
Use them.
Yeah. I agree.
Like, at what point do we? Sometimes this man.
Sometimes you gotta, and for lack of better term, and I hate to use this term, but sometimes you gotta bite the bullet, fam. Man. Sometimes you just, you know what I mean?
Let's cut the BS, dog. This is a human being, dog.
I agree.
Real talk. And for people to get pissed off about Harambe, y'all mad over a damn gorilla getting killed.
I'm still upset
and
about
y'all not pissed off about this dude getting gunned down in the street, dog. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's bullshit. I have people on my timeline talking about well, he was a previous sex offender and he was a criminal. He deserved this. Don't nobody deserve to get treated like that. Nobody. If you're not in a situation where you're not harassing or trying to provoke violence. My man was out there selling CDs, doing his thing, which he had been doing. He had a weapon on him in an area where somebody just got robbed last week doing the same thing he was doing. So he was strapped to protect himself. Not that, hey, Louisiana, open state.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They can carry out there. It's legal to carry that.
Absolutely.
Now whether he have a permit or not, I understand that. I understand that. And when you do have a weapon on you, hey, officer, I do have a weapon on you. I get that. But everybody don't know police protocol. That means
he's a convicted sex offender, right?
Correct. Which he should not have a weapon at all, which I'm totally for. But to get to my point, he did not have to be gunned down the way that he was. Even with all those, he was a criminal and he had a record. He didn't need to have a gun.
You know what my issue is, though, and I'm listening to you. My issue is the first two were enough.
Exactly.
And dude, like,
two was enough, and you shot him twice in the chest. That's going to kill him.
Well, but you gotta, once again, we just had this conversation.
And the coroner found one in the back. Come on. Yes, I read the full story. Coroner said that he died from chest wounds and back. That means that one of them got him in his back. He was already laid up and halfway turned when the first two rang out.
You know what he did?
He turned over.
Ricochet?
Nope. You see the officer when he was sliding back?
Yeah.
He pushed him as he was shooting.
Shut up, young. And this is what's
Trying to
pissing
get
me
up.
off.
Trying
Yo.
to get up. Yeah.
And then he want to yell out at the end of it, "Oh fuck!" Now, come on, dog. Don't give me that. You blatantly killed somebody, cold blooded, young. You put 6 in this dude, both of y'all, and you getting is administrative leave, so you get to go home for 2 weeks, let this die down a little bit, and then you back. What you gonna do? Sit in the office for a little while, push some papers?
He's gonna quit.
Come on, man.
He's gonna resign.
Dog.
He's gonna resign.
Resign or not. If he
resign.
don't go to jail, whatever. I'm not saying bring violence upon this man. I'm not saying that. But
He's
something, man.
He's gonna resign because
fire his ass. I don't want him to resign. I want him fired.
Realistically, he's going to resign because, I mean, what's the chances of him being able to work in that community? Think about it. Either one of them. Because in situations like this, everybody knows your name. And the media is never going to let you rest. Mm-hmm. Whenever you move, they move it.
Okay, but bruh, he can resign, right? And then he can move to Oregon. He can become an officer out there, starting all over again, doing the same old BS. Still no accountability for his actions. He needs to be terminated.
I think
somebody's life is gone.
I think
your badge needs to be gone for that.
But in order for you to do that, you have to prove to me that man did not reach for that gun.
I get that, and I understand we are not going to get that.
I think that's
we're not going to get that, and that's what frustrates me the most. I'm not going to say that
you can't get it,
bruh.
Listen, because you got to remember, the police department hasn't said a thing. So you don't know if they got a body cam or not.
Baltimore ain't say nothing. Baltimore waited to the last minute till it was absolutely feasible for them to finally say something.
Listen, but you don't know if they have a body cam. Only thing you know is one of them was broke. 2 officers there. You get where I'm going with this?
I get you.
They haven't confirmed nor denied that he had a weapon. They're doing the right thing, keeping the media out of their business until they investigate. Point blank period.
I'm going to say this, and then we'll move on to something else. I think the people saw the video, and regardless of the details of what happened before and what happened during the video, at most, everybody sees that the dude got shot by 2 police officers holding him down and got shot 6 times. People want to see something happen more than paid leave or something like that, because it feels like the fact that black guys are getting killed is not a priority. I feel like it's not an issue. And because, these guys are essentially getting away scot-free by not having to serve no jail time or anything like that, it gives the feeling that, it's okay. You know what I mean? Now, and trust and believe, I feel you 100% with the details of the situation. Mm-hmm. If he was tased, if it was this, if it was that. But I'm like, at the end of the day, they still killed him. And something has to be done from a law perspective. Because if it's me on camera killing an old boy, guess where I'm going? You pick a jail. They'll put me in there. And
say that, bro.
I don't care. I don't care what I can prove. Or he was reaching for his weapon. We don't care. He was licensed to carry one. Or every excuse will come up in the book to put me in jail, but nothing comes up to put the Fed in jail that shot him. And I think that's the main thing, regardless of all the details that have been said. I think that is the main sentiment of the people, is that nothing is happening, and people are pissed off, and pissed off enough that I called Mr. Lee and said, we have to do a show and talk about this because people are pissed off, and I'm pissed off as well, because it seems like this stuff happens and nothing happens after the fact. This is the 3rd person on the Freddie Gray situation that's not going to jail. It's 3 more people to try. If they ain't got the first 3, you'd be hard pressed to see if they're gonna get the last 3. You know what I mean? Eric Garner was choked out on camera, choked out. Nothing happened to old boy. So it's like these dudes are getting killed by the hands of people that are supposed to protect them, and nothing is happening to the hands that are protect them. So if even if it is justified or whatever, it gives the persona that it doesn't matter. That it gives the blatant persona. You know what I mean? Put it like this: if you see me kill multiple people on camera, I'm gonna look like a serial killer. And they're like, oh, why isn't he in jail yet? You know what I'm saying? I keep doing the same stuff and I'm not getting in trouble. People, you should be mad. You should be mad because that could have been me. That could have been you. That could have been Mr. Lee. That could have been anybody. And I hate to even say that, knock on wood. That could have been anybody. It could have been your friend, your cousin, your brother. And they could not come home. And then only word we have to go by is the video and then what the police officers say. And then you feel like you get no justice because nothing happens. That's the main issue. And I feel you. I understand. Listen, I understand completely about all the other details of the story. But at this point,
aside from details, I'm going to answer your question. Aside from details, when you go to court, say you were on trial for murder, it is the state's obligation to do what? Prove that you did it.
Yeah.
Right? Not only prove that you did it, because they can very well do that, and you still get off. Prove what your intent was. You get where I'm going with this?
I feel
because
you.
That's the difference between murder, manslaughter, first degree assault, or you like.
But I feel you. But even with the state's defense, I'm gonna tell you, I don't know what else you can get to convict me other than me shooting the dude on camera, because that's what you got. You got that point blank period. You got. We're gonna submit this in the evidence.
So at
we
that point,
want to show you the video of DA
it's
killing
what
this
his
person.
intent was.
Man, I'm telling you, you can't judge intent. You have to judge what it is. And I'm gonna tell you why. When they pull that tape and evidence, we want to submit evidence number whatever.
Mm-hmm.
This is a video. What I'm about to see, right? What you about to see, jury? This is a video of DH killing the subject or killing whatever. However it goes.
So let me ask you a question.
Hold on. Then they play the clip.
You already ruined it because you said intent.
They play.
You trying to prove intent.
They playing the clip, and you see me.
But this works.
Hold on. They playing the clip. You see my face, plain as day. Hey, more than two people can acknowledge that this is me.
Absolutely.
You see me with a gun, you see me shoot him. What more evidence you need?
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
You get into it with a guy outside in front of your house.
Yep.
Right? Y'all got this heated argument.
Yep.
He step foots to your door.
Right.
Don't come in.
Mm-hmm.
You shoot him at the door.
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever the case may be. You felt like he was about to come in your house. Or he was trying to force entry into your house. And attack.
I felt threatened.
You felt threatened.
Mm-hmm.
You would want them to do what? Let you slide, right?
Of course. I mean, if I
hear me out.
Yeah,
listen.
Hear me out, right?
Here's your intent right here.
Because your intent was to do what?
Get him off my property.
And protect who?
And protect me.
Their intent in their mind was to do what?
Protect themselves.
That's intent, bro.
I think.
So unless if you want to throw intent out and just throw, you shot him, then the same thing goes. It's the same way across the board. Mm-hmm. Your intent goes out because so what? You felt threatened. You shot that man. You're going to jail.
Right. Nah, trust me. I feel what you're saying. But if somebody, like you said, we don't have everything that happened before. But if somebody pull out the camera, as I'm saying, I'm
not even talking about before. I'm talking about right then and there. Their intent in their mind.
Okay.
I'm talking about what you saw.
Got you. No.
They felt like he was reaching.
Right.
Their intent was to defend themselves.
Right. And I understand that part.
Not saying that it was right. Now,
right. No. I feel you.
Hey.
I understand exactly what you're saying, right? But my thing is, they have video proof of the situation now. It's different if I shoot somebody on my property at my front door. Then if nobody have video footage, okay, we got to retrace the steps, build the case, and prove it. But now you have a critical part of the case where you can actually see the murder happen. That's just like the OJ trial. If all the stuff that happened up to OJ, you don't have none of the times he beat Nicole, you don't have none of that stuff on video. But you got the video of him or whoever killing Nicole. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, the stuff. Let's not. And I feel you. Like, I know we want to make sure that we're covering all our bases and everything.
You even had a murder weapon, but he still got off.
I feel you. But I'm like, if you have the video,
and you know what,
of the person killing
Johnny
Nicole
Cochran
Brown, If it don't fit, you must quit. If you got the
had a too
video,
small glove.
right? If you got the video of whoever killing Nicole Brown, regardless of everything that went into it, you have the key part of the story right there. Okay, we don't know everything that happened to lead up to the situation. We don't know everything that happened after this, but we do know we see this person killing Nicole Brown right here on camera.
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that's your open and shut, closed case conviction, but that's a integral part of the story.
And you know what else you need though?
What else you need?
And you hear it on first 48. You hear everybody else say, "I gotta have a motive."
Yeah.
If I don't have the motive, what am I gonna say when I get to court?
Look,
you
man.
have to establish a motive, because if I don't have a motive when I walk into that courtroom as a prosecutor, I got a video of him shooting. Well, why did he shoot? I don't know. Well, the judge gonna be like, "What do you mean you don't know? Come up, give me something." He shot him. What took place up until that point, or what happened during this process to make him shoot this man? Was he trying to rob him?
I trust me. I feel you. I feel you wholeheartedly. But from the perspective of the civilian perspective, from taking stuff at face value, you know what I mean? This is what I see. This is what happened. So, in turn, if more info comes out, great. I want to know all that.
Absolutely.
But taking it at face value, once the stuff started coming out, okay, I understand everything that they're saying, but here's what we have. We have a video of this situation, right? And the fact is, he got killed, right?
Absolutely.
So I think that should weigh in a lot, regardless of what everything that comes in.
You know where it weighs in at?
Where's it weighing at?
It weighs in that, okay, now I got to do the legal process. It has to be submitted to the grand jury. Mm-hmm. It's going to have to be. I got to suspend them. That's protocol. Mm-hmm. I have to investigate. That's protocol. And at that point, we'll determine whether it's going to be murder or self-defense. Mm-hmm.
Man.
The same process is with everybody else. Whether you want to look at it that way or not. Just because I know you killed somebody, I can only hold you for so long before I actually have to charge you.
Right.
You get only thing different in this situation, they sitting at home because of their position. We put these officers in these positions, and they don't always make the right decisions. I'll give you that.
Right.
I mean, I can't say that I've always made the right decision.
Just even as a man, like
as a man, or whatever the case may be, I can't say that I've always made the right decision. But whatever decision I make, I have to be able to live with it. I have to be able to go home at night. I have to be able to say, "Well, God, hopefully you understand what I'm saying?" Like, and you have to,
and you got to be held accountable for your decision.
Exactly.
Even if not on earth.
Yes.
In above. Let me talk about this really quick because we're getting ready to get out of here. The first episode of UnFiltered.
I like this. I gotta come back.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's our obligation to talk about real stuff that's going on, man.
Absolutely, absolutely.
We have a lot of fun every Monday, but I feel like it's our obligation as being members of the media to talk about this stuff and give a different perspective. Did you guys hear about the DC firefighter earlier today?
Yeah, I heard about that.
Mm-hmm. So I saw the Fox 5 interview where they went to his house, basically, and he came outside and talked to him. And basically, the DC firefighter said, there's a quick little rant, and I'll read it real quick if I can. Sure. These expletive cops who are murdering our people need to start turning up the same way. These racists. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. They shouldn't feel safe walking the streets, and neither should their supporters. Protesting is a lost cause because it makes us all look like a bunch of, derogatory term, these evil expletives don't have any compassion. They are going to let them pigs go free and probably start a GoFundMe and make a millionaires. It's time to stop praying, stop protesting, start buying guns, and start protecting ourselves from these crooked, expletive, racist cops. If you are a cop and are not in support of these people, then it's about time to start turning these expletives in, or at least giving out some addresses so we can go handle them. And then he posted another post that said, the answer is yes. I'm saying the citizens should take the law in their own hands and target racist cops. Those pigs in Baton Rouge deserve nothing short of a bullet in their heads. See how their families feel after that. So reading the post aloud, it's kind of tough to read because it's. I think he was upset when he said it, and he didn't,
Oh, he meant it.
I mean, and I didn't say that he didn't mean it. He said it, but I think it comes from a place of a regular person. I guess he feels as though this is happening too often, and he said it. And he did say in the interview, he said he wished he would use some different terms. He's not saying go out and hurt cops.
That's basically what he said, though.
Yeah, in his words that he used, he did all, but he basically said that. But after the fact, you're like, that's really not what I meant. Immediately got, picked up, and he got suspended from his job. And his main thing was talking about his First Amendment right. I mean, yeah, you got the First Amendment right. You can say whatever you want, but you got to be able to understand those repercussions that come behind that.
Exactly, especially when you're in a position of power.
Yeah, he was. I believe he was upset.
Public safety or whatever.
Yeah, and you gotta choose your words wisely, man. But I think that is something where it affected him, where he didn't think about it. He just said what he felt, and I believe your first impression is the one. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I say first out of my mouth is what I mean. If I come back and retract that, you know what I mean? That's because I offended you. But the first thing I said,
that's because I'm
not always the case. Sometimes
that's because I'm being held accountable.
Sometimes you can speak off of anger, and not exactly mean the words that you're saying at that moment. You're just speaking off the frustration at that moment, and then later, once you have more facts about what you're talking about, maybe some empathy might come in. So you might not feel as aggressively about it as you did before. But, I mean, people who can retract a statement and they actually do mean it, it is heartfelt. So I can't necessarily agree with that.
I mean, I feel like he got to use his words better. Like, he's
a public
public safety officer.
You know what I mean? He's a firefighter.
Yeah.
So he's in the eyes of the public. So he's going to be held accountable for what he says because he is the forefront of the government. So you do have to watch what you say. That's why your profile should be very limited when you're out in the public. If you're an officer, you shouldn't be cussing and saying racist and derogatory things about people, because citizens are going to see that and they're going to report you and you're going to look like a bad guy. And that's basically what happened to him. Somebody saw it, they reported it, and guess what? Now he's on papers. So
yeah, I definitely believe that. You gotta watch your words.
What'd you call it, Lou? Complaint? Yeah, they filed one.
They filed it.
That was a quick turnaround for that complaint.
Yeah.
A quick turnaround.
The nature of the situation.
I understand.
Politics, man.
But what I'm
you know what that was about at that particular time? His chief and the mayor.
We don't want that attention over here.
He's an employee of DC government.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can't say that.
There you go.
What you about to say, Mr. Lee?
I'm really glad that we're able to do this right now in an unfiltered state, because I'm still mad at the fact that the whole day we weren't getting coverage on this story. We've been getting Hillary and Trump. You know, of course, Hillary, she's down in Atlantic City, so she's throwing dirt on Trump and his bad business practices. But
damn, that's the last thing
neither
I can
one
care
of them,
about right now.
neither one of them have said anything about this during that campaign today. And
nobody would touch it, fam.
No, why?
It's
whoa! You're about to be the president.
Yeah.
Either one of you.
You're gonna have to touch.
Why would you not touch this? Yeah. Why would you not show your compassion for the people, or maybe you're not compassionate about the people that it affected? Maybe you don't care about the complexion of the people that it happened to.
You're not gonna touch that. You're not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
And I get that. That's all political game. But guess what? I'm black, and I am going to say something because guess what? This is my station, so I'm gonna say it.
No, I feel
but real talk, man. How do you combat the people who say stop making this about race? Stop making this white versus black because black people kill black people every day. You know how many times I've heard that today, and it's still pissing me off.
84 shot, 15 killed, 4th of July, Chicago.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I'm outraged about Chicago. I'm outraged about anybody losing their life, whether we do it to each other or not. But don't try to pin this as, oh, this is another plight for racism and all that. But guess what, bro?
So in this situation, I can't sit here and say that this was racially motivated.
Mm-hmm.
You can never say that. But it just so happens that it's another two white guys and another black guy.
And it doesn't help when you find yourselves in positions, where they are white officers and, this is a black man. But your Freddie Gray situation, rather, Freddie Gray. That's a mixture of both. You have black officers and white officers on trial.
Yeah.
So
it gives the racial undertone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or it's just a bad coincidence, fam.
Yeah. But
how do we fix this, dog? Because I'm tired, man.
I'm tired of talking about it, and I'm tired of.
I got a son.
Dog, it's like
I have a son.
Yeah.
And I'd be damned if I'm burying my son because somebody shot him in self-defense.
But you know what? You teach him different.
Absolutely, Lou. But everybody wasn't violent. Everybody who got shot and killed by the cops wasn't violent. Everybody wasn't resisting. So how do we stop this shit, young? Real talk. I'm a father. This hurt me watching that man's 15-year-old son cry at that press conference. Daddy. He's never going to hear from him. He's never going to hug him. He's never going to hold him. He's never going to come home and see his son. And I'm just speaking for those who are teaching their children to right from wrong, to put your hands up, to if the cops say do this, you do that. You don't say shit. But there are still people who don't do shit, who still get shot, who still get popped. How do we fix this, young? Because I'm tired. I don't want my son to be a hashtag. I don't want to be a hashtag. I don't want y'all watching. I don't want your children to be hashtags. How do we fix this, dog? Do the police need some type of new training? Do we need to rid some of the weapons? Maybe peel back some of the clips? What do we? I know it sounds funny, but I'm dead serious because there are areas where there are police involved, and the police don't carry guns, and the citizens are actually great.
And that's outside
New Zealand, Britain,
that's outside the U.S.
But it is. But it absolutely works, and there's still crime there, yeah.
Yeah,
but there's double ways of dealing with it.
But you know what the difference is? It's less gun crime.
I mean, I get that, bro.
But you have.
I'm just trying to find a solution.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this: if you take the guns from police officers, right? What's the chances of me knocking at your door when you're involved in the domestic? What's the chances of me responding to an armed robbery? What's the chances of me, approaching a lot of situations? What's the chances of me want to work in a hood, period? Like you have to think of these things, and people, I hear them say this all the time. Well, police officers don't need guns. Okay, well, you do the job then.
No,
you do the job and you don't carry a gun and see what happens.
I get that, bro. I get that. It's security.
It's not even security.
Most security people don't have guns, and they secure buildings, and incidents occur. And violence who's come in there, and they do what protocol says to do.
Lay on the floor and wait till they leave.
Hey, if that's the case, that's the case. I understand that. That's your protocol. That's what you're trying to do because there are police in America who are supposed to serve and protect you. Now, what I'm trying to say, I'm not saying take away guns from police officers. I'm just saying that there are countries where officers don't have guns and they don't have crimes of this magnitude where officers are killing citizens for no reason. Now, what I'm saying is maybe hit him with the baton, and I get you. He took 2 tasers, and bruh, if both of y'all hitting him with billy clubs at his knees, he's going down. Hey, he might not go down the way you want him to,
my question
but
to
he's
you
going down. You ain't got to put 6 shots in him to get him down, though.
Do that to a brother on PCP,
bruh. He wasn't on PCP.
I'm just saying.
I get where you're going with that, but that's situational based.
And so, okay, in this situation,
Where there was no drugs. There was no drugs.
Listen. In this situation, he was tased. He was tased not once. He was tased twice. They couldn't get him on the ground that way. So they physically threw him to the ground. Right? There was a struggle at that point. They were trying to put your man hands behind his back. At that point, I guess they couldn't. I can't say that he reached for the gun. I can't say that he did. I mean, I can't say that he did or didn't. But what I can say is that I feel like, and this is my opinion, they did other things before they got to that point. Not saying that the shooting is justified, but you cannot say that they did not take other measures before they didn't just walk up to him and pull the gun out and shoot him. That's not what happened here.
I'm going to say this, and we're getting ready to get up out of here. But I say this. I mean, nobody has an exact answer of what happened. But I mean, I think it takes looking in the mirror and understanding, the situation. And I think realizing how many lives will be affected if we make the wrong reaction or do the wrong thing. And I mean, I know me in my personal life, and that's the law, Newton's law. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Mm-hmm. And you have to understand the magnitude and the depth of what's really going on. And I know I know a lot of people in law enforcement. I made sure I hit them up today. I hit them all up today and told them how much I appreciate them.
Absolutely.
And I did that. I did that not because, I'm trying to, smooth it. I did it because there are a lot of good law enforcement people, a lot of great law enforcement people that go to work every day and do what their job is and do what they're supposed to do and do protect and serve, do the right thing. You know what I mean? And are not thanked for what they do. And I felt like it was important to make sure that that they understood from me, if not from nobody else. And I'm not saying go out and do this. I'm saying that for me, I appreciate them putting their lives on the line because I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. You know what I mean? So I made sure I thanked and appreciated them for what they do because a lot of times they do get lost in the shuffle. You know what I mean? But the thing is, all it takes is one to spoil the bunch. You know what I mean? Yeah. If I got one person on this show that's making the show terrible, people gonna say the show sucks. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I feel like, and it's not fair that you're lumped in a category and one person is, makes up the whole stereotype. But I think the issue that black people are having is that that's done to us all the time. I'm a big black dude, so I'm automatically a threat to people that, people that feel like they're inferior. Now, I want to say this because I'm getting ready to get out of here. I met this one girl. This was years ago. And both of y'all know me for a long time, mm-hmm. since high school and middle school. And I asked this girl, I said, what did you think about me? Like, what was your initial thought of me when you first met me? She said, I thought you were a thug.
Where?
Fam!
Where?
And even back, like, in high school, like, that was the furthest thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was her initial reaction of me. And y'all know me personally. Anybody that's out there right now on this Facebook Live feed knows me personally, know that I'm the furthest thing away from a thug. Right. But a person that has never met me before, you see me make one face that's not a inviting face, right. You may assume that I'm a thug. So I'm instantly thrown into a box. Right. And I think the plight of black people is that we're instantly thrown into a box every single day. Mm-hmm. You go to an interview, that name on that thing, if it don't even sound like it's a John, James, or a Jim, or a Steve, you already at the bottom. Mm-hmm. You already got to work. You working backwards, and I think that's the plight for black folk. It's like if it's not one thing, it's another. If we're trying to progress, we getting killed by this person. We got people. It's how enough is enough, and it feels like stuff is just mounted on top of another. And I think people are just pissed off and frustrated, like Mr. Lee said. He has kids. I don't have kids yet. I have a nephew, but I'm telling you, I know I've been saying for a while how I would raise my son and raise my kids. I'm gonna have to reassess that because I now have to raise kids in a world where, you know, you a target, fam. That just is what it is. You a target. And oh, that's a I didn't see. Okay. So I'm seeing we have TV on the studio. I'm seeing that view that we were talking about earlier. Mm. So I do see, wow, that's really clear, bro. Mm. Yeah. But yes, black people feel oppressed, man, because this has been going on for far too long. And I hope I never have to do another episode of Unfiltered. I pray that the next time I do an episode of Unfiltered, I'm talking about something just regular.
We're gonna do another one.
Yeah, we're gonna do another
to update.
Yeah, we're gonna do another because this was good. And I appreciate everybody tuning in on Facebook Live, man, being a part of the discussion. Definitely shout out to Mr. Lee behind the glass for making this all happen. Mr. Lee, we appreciate you.
Yes, sir, bro.
Definitely shout out to Mr. Wood for coming in and giving his expertise from the law enforcement perspective. No bell tonight. We don't have to worry about me messing up. And it's your man DH, man. We appreciate you for tuning in. Facebook Live. Y'all be blessed. Y'all stay safe, man. And do me a favor, man. Tell your family you love them. Tell your kids you love them. You know, because you can never miss out an opportunity to do that. I called Summertime the day before she went to work and just told her I loved her. I said, just because. You know what I mean? You can say it costs nothing. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you tell your family you love them. And make sure you tune in this Monday at 8 p.m. live on Win Lose Radio. But yeah, man, peace and love. And we see you next time on Unfiltered. Y'all be blessed.